Okay, next, deferred annuity. What about deferred annuity? Okay, so when we say deferred annuity, annuity in which periodic payment is neither at the beginning nor end of each payment interval. Okay, but some later date. So that is deferred annuity. Again, when we say deferred annuity, annuity in which periodic payment is neither at the beginning nor end of each payment interval, but some later date. So that is deferred annuity. Okay? So we do have deferment period. What is deferment period? When we say deferment period, it is the length of time for which there are no payments. Deferment period is the length of time for which there are no payments. First payment occur after the deferment period. First payment occur after the deferment period. So that is deferred annuity. In a deferred annuity, we do have deferment period. So the first payment will be done after the deferment period. Okay? Miss, why is there's a deferment period? Because the deferment period helps you to save, okay, for your first payment. Okay? Help you to save for your first payment. Okay? Help you to accumulate money for your first payment. That's why we do have deferment period. Okay? The first payment occur after the deferment period. So that is deferred annuity. So present value of deferred annuity. So the value of annuity at point 0, compute the present value of the ordinary annuity of the end payments of R at the point D, discount A for D periods. Okay? So that's the formula for the present value of deferred annuity. So that's the formula for the present value of deferred annuity. N, you're referring to the number of payments made, and D, you're referring to the number of payments missed. Okay? Number of payments made, and D, number of payments missed. So that's deferred and present value of a deferred annuity. And then the amount of deferred annuity, okay? So that's the formula in solving for the amount of deferred annuity. Okay? Amount of deferred annuity is equal to the present value of deferred annuity multiplied by 1 plus I raised to D plus N. Again, when we say N, you're referring to the number of payments, and then D, you're referring to the missed number of payments. Okay? In short, D, you're referring to your deferment period. Yung D, deferment period. Okay? So for example, in number 1, find the present value of a deferred annuity of 900 every 3 months for 5 years that is deferred for 3 years if money is worth 10% compounded quarterly. So in this particular problem, we need to solve for a present value of a deferred annuity. Okay? So how do we do that? So the unknown is the present value of deferred annuity. So first we need to identify what are the given variables that we have. So we have periodic payment, which is 900. And then I, okay, your periodic rate, that would be 0.10 divided by 4. So you do have 0.025. And then your N, okay, that would be 5 times 4, that would be 20. Okay, 20 periods. What about your D? Okay, what about your D? So for your D, that would be 3 times 4 equals 12. Because you do have deferment period for 3 years. So 3 times 4, so you do have 12. Okay? So to solve for the present value of an annuity, deferred annuity, just substitute it in your given formula. So your present value is 10,432.27. Okay, so 10,432.27. Again, what do you mean by N? When we say N, you are referring to the number of payments that you made. Kapag D, you are referring to the number of payments that you missed. Okay, yun yung deferment period mo. Yung na-miss mo because of the deferment period. So that's the difference between N and D. Okay, so therefore, your present value of a deferred annuity will be 10,432.27. Now next, what about number 2? Find the present value of a deferred annuity of 4,800 every 6 months for 7 years if the first payment is made in the 4 years and money is worth 11% compounded semi-annually. Okay? Money is worth 11% compounded semi-annually. So what is 4,800 again? So when we say 4,800, you are referring to your periodic payment or regular payment. So in this particular problem, we need to solve for the present value of a deferred annuity. Now, what are the given? Okay, so first we need to identify the given. So what are the given? So we do have a regular payment. Okay, so we have 4,800. your periodic rate, that would be 0.11 divided by 2. Okay, how do you get that? Rate over M. So that would be 0.055. Next, what about your number of payments you made? So that would be 7 times 2. So you do have 14. Okay? And then the deferment period, because according to the problem, your first payment is done on the 4th. Okay, on the 4th year. So meaning meron kang deferment period from first year to the 3rd year. So 3 years na meron kang deferment period. So you do have 3 times 2. Okay? 3 years mong na-missed. May 3 years kang na-missed na hindi bayaran. So you do have 3 times 2, so you do have 6. Okay? 6 number of missed payments. Okay? So you do have, so your present value of a deferred annuity, so you do have 33,383.29. 33,383.29. So that is your present value of a deferred annuity. Okay? Next, find the quarterly payment for 21 quarters to discharge an obligation of 120,000 if money is worth 4.5% compounded quarterly and the first payment is due at the end of 3 years and 9 months. So in here, we need to solve for your quarterly payment. Okay, your regular payment. Okay, magkano daw yung regular payment mo for 21 quarters? Okay, how much is your quarterly payment for 21 quarters? To discharge an obligation, which is 120,000. Since we're talking about obligation, okay, so what is 120,000? So 120,000, you are referring to your present value because that's your obligation. Okay, that's your investment. So 120,000. Okay, so that's the present value. So we need to solve for periodic payment. So we have present value, that is 120,000. I 0.045 divided by 4. That would be 0.01125. So N, that would be 21. And then D, that would be 3.75 times 4 equals 15. Okay, why is it 3.75 times 4? Because according to the problem, okay, the first payment is due at the end of 3 years and 9 months. Okay, the first payment is due at the end of 3 years and 9 months. So therefore, your regular payment is 7,625.84. 7,625.84. Okay. So same thing with this one. Find the present value of annuity. Okay, of 33,000 payable at the end of each year if the first payment is made at the end of 3 years and the last payment is made at the end of 9 years. Assume money is worth 10% effective. Okay. So we need to solve for present value. So the given are regular payment 33,000, periodic payment 0.10 divided by 1, so you do have 0.10, and that would be 6 times 1. Okay, kasi annually, so you do have 6, and then D, that would be 3 times 1, you do have 3. Okay, so substitute, so you do have 107,981.67. So 107,981.67. So that is deferred annuity zoo. Okay, so that